Okay, so let's say your chassis fan or your case fan has failed, and when you buy the replacement you find it doesn't come with a connector. You could buy the connector and even the pins that go with it, but the crimp tools are usually very expensive. So what we're going to do is cut the old one off the old fan and join it to the new one. We need to pick out a suitable heat shrink so that the wires don't touch together. Heat shrinks have a 2:1 ratio, so make sure you pick a heat shrink that's twice the thickness of the wire that you're going to use it on. We need to put the heat shrink on the wires before we do the soldering, and push them far enough away so they don't melt while we're doing the soldering as well. Then we're going to strip the wires by equal amounts so they can overlap. And I'm going to use a clamp to hold them together steady. So we're going to lightly dab the wires with some electrical flux. First solder one pair of wires together, and then do the other pair. Gently slide the heat shrink over the exposed wires, and then we just need to use a heat gun to finish the job. And on to the next one. I realised the heads of these screws were too big, and I needed to use countersink screws instead, but the only countersink screws I could find were too long and were hitting the back of the case. So we're going to need to cut the screw down, and we'll start this by marking it and put half a dozen nuts on it so we can hold it better in the vise. Once it's cut with a grinder, it will leave a little bit of a burr. Now there is a custom made tool you can buy for this, but what we're going to do is simply run the nuts off one by one, which will then allow you to use the screw or bolt as normal.